Welcome back. Then, as promised, let's get chatting with the management of Shalby. We have Mr. Shah who joins us. Hi, Mr. Shah. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, I was just going through the disclosure that you all have put up that 75 beds have been designated for COVID patients, suspected patients as well, at your Surat facility. So that's good news. That in fact, patients out there, they'll be getting more help. But if you could give us a sense in terms of what are the current occupancy levels, for COVID patients, for non-COVID as well, what were they and what are they now?
So good morning, Nigel, and all the viewers. Essentially, we have given 75 beds, for COVID treatment in the city of Surat, and as we speak, close to 44 patients are admitted for COVID treatment. The balance are all non-COVID patients. So essentially, that is the current status, and we have 7 to 8 ventilators, and the government of Gujarat has promised us that they will be providing us additional ventilators probably by the middle of this month. Besides that, we run 3 facilities in Ahmedabad where we are treating COVID patients. All these facilities also treat non-COVID patients, and I can say that of the total occupancy that we have in Ahmedabad, roughly 20 to 25% would be COVID patients. But the good part is that there is still plenty of space and plenty of vacant beds where we can still treat COVID patients.
Fair point there, Shanay. The fact that there are plenty of beds where you can treat COVID patients. So on the one hand, while this would be a hope for all the COVID patients, this may not be good news for all your investors. So if you could, simplify things for us. Overall, I believe you have over 2,000 beds across all your facilities. How many beds are COVID designated right now? What's the occupancy there? And in the other beds which are operational, what's the occupancy there?
So, of the 2,000 beds that we have, in terms of capacity, roughly 200 odd would be, designated COVID beds. Apart from these beds, most of the hospital beds that are occupied are non-COVID patients. As I said, our Mohali unit, Jaipur unit, Indore, Jabalpur, all the 4 units in Ahmedabad, Surat, as well as Vapi treat non-COVID patients. So 80% of the occupancy today is non-COVID patients. To give you some light, April was, the weakest month for us because of the strictest lockdown. We did see a 20 to 25% growth in the month of May. But what we saw in June was a 100% jump in terms of footfalls and the number of procedures that we did compared to the month of May. So yes, things are changing, and the people are getting out, getting treatment, and they don't want to wait anymore.
Okay, all right. So I just want to ask a couple of questions. Then, you said that 200 beds approximately are reserved for COVID patients. And also you told us that business in the non-COVID patients are improving gradually, which is a positive. Can you give that to us in occupancy terms? What is the current occupancy? That is, as of July. And what was it maybe in April, May? So we can get a sense in terms of the trend. And also in terms of the COVID patients, are there any, pricing caps in place? From a shareholder's point of view, would you be making at least some kind of profitability on the COVID patients?
Yeah, so what we have been reading in the news is correct that most of the corporate hospitals in the country were affected by 50 to 80% in the month of April when it came to the top line. If we talk about the month of July as we are speaking, for example, we are 80 to 90% back in terms of the pre-COVID occupancy. Having said that, what is important to note is that a lot of the elective work that we used to do, of course, that has not come back to 80%. That will take some more time, probably a month or two to come back. But yes, the numbers that we see on a day-to-day basis are improving significantly.
All right. The last time you joined us, you also said that, there is no dearth of ICUs as well as PPE kits, protective care, all of that. If you could give us a status update on that, as the time since we spoke the last time, the number of cases have risen exponentially. And if you could also tell us what the impact on your margins would be, because elective surgeries is where you make a fair amount of money as well.
Absolutely. So we have already, kind of reached operational break even since a long time, since probably a couple of weeks now. So we will not be having a cash shortfall, or we will not be cash deficit for the month, for the quarter one in FY21. Having said that, yes, all the hospitals are well equipped with ventilators, BiPAP machines, etc. And of course, the government of Gujarat, because most of the hospitals of ours which are handling COVID patients as of now are based in Gujarat, and the government of Gujarat has also promised to provide additional ventilators and BiPAP machines, etc. When it comes to the capping, yes, the patients that are referred by the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation as well as the Surat Municipal Corporation are basically, we have to treat them, with a price cap. I mean, the treatment does have a price cap in terms of, whether the patient needs oxygen, whether he needs the ventilator, etc. But having said that, majority of the patients that we treat are,
Okay.
non-AMC or SMC patients. So we are free to charge them, based on our schedule of charges.
Very quickly, your current holding is nearly around 80%. When do you bring it down to 75%? If you could give us the deadline?
Well, the deadline stipulated to us by the SEBI is the 5th of December this year, by the end of this year. Having said that, we are already speaking to a lot of investors, and as you already know, that there has been a lot of interest in the pharma and healthcare space over the last 3 months.
All right, Shanay, thanks a lot for joining us and giving us all those details. We will most definitely keep an eye out on that. But